So, one of the things that I've been trying to infer and had thought about in the back of my head is very much the travel advisory that was issued last year to Americans going to Mexico, and about how there's been recent reports of how there's been an uptick in deaths of Americans going on vacation to Mexico. Usually, the fact of the matter, there might have been food poisoning, or just the fact of the matter, they inhale these type of gases inside these hotels. And my opinion, I would say to all Americans listening to this video, do not go out to Mexico. Instead, go to other locations in America for, your leisure and all these different things, until Mexico fixes their problem, until they figure out what's going on with a lot of these resorts and hotels where, it seems to be very much a lot of problems with these detectors and all these different things. What am I talking about? Well, there has been two Americans that's been found dead in a hotel room in Mexico where they inhaled carbon monoxide fumes. So check it out. It says here, two Americans found dead at Mexico resort died from inhaling toxic gas. Workers at luxury hotel where John Hefko and Abby Lutz died report managers had disabled carbon monoxide alarms. Two Americans whose bodies were found in their rooms at a resort in the Mexico state of Baja California Sur on June 13 died from inhaling toxic gas, according to officials' preliminary findings. The couple, identified as 41-year-old John Hefko and 28-year-old Abby Lutz of California, had reportedly been dead between 10 and 11 hours before being discovered in their room at the Oceanfront Hyatt Rancho Pescadero Hotel in El Pescadero, Mexico. The cause of death was ruled as intoxication of an unspecified gas substance that local officials, as of Saturday, were still working to determine. In an interview with Good Morning America, one of the paramedics who arrived on the scene to treat Havco and Lutz claimed he and his colleague immediately experienced dizziness after entering the room. The hotel manager claimed there was no gas leak of any kind in the hotel. Lutz's family members claimed she reported to them on Monday that she experienced food poisoning and received medical treatment on Sunday night, but did not hear from her after that. Current and former employees at the luxury resort told the Los Angeles Times that managers ignored possible signs of gas leaks for months and had disabled carbon monoxide alarms in the hotel because they were disturbing guests. And this was a problem with me reading this article, this last sentence. So you already had the implication that there were some problems with the gas and the air quality inside of the hotel. And instead of treating it and shutting down the hotel completely, you decided to keep having guests inside of the hotels anyway, and just figured by disabling the alarm, there shouldn't be any problems. And to, appease to the companies, to the guests, and what they desire, instead of just being like, we need to shut this down and figure out the things that's going on. And later in this article, they're going to admit even an employee had came forward and said that they felt some type of dizziness when cleaning up the same room that these two individuals was found dead in afterwards. They knew there were problems with gas leaks, said Ricardo Carbajal, a former night manager at the resort who stopped working at the resort in March after a dispute over pay. Everyone was aware of the alarms and that the detectors were off. 3 current employees confirmed the detectors were disabled and claimed management ignored for months complaints and strong gas smells from guests and employees, and that just days prior, a housekeeper fell ill cleaning the room where the 2 Americans were found dead. Hyatt officials previously denied suspicions the deaths were related to gas leaks, but did not comment on claims from current and former workers. The deaths of Hefko and Lutz are under investigation after 3 other Americans died from carbon monoxide poisoning in a Mexico City home that they rented ahead of Day of the Dead celebrations in the fall of last year. The dead in that case were Jordan Marshall, 28, Cortez Hall, 33, and Candace Florence, 28. An odorless gas, carbon monoxide, is in the fumes from fuel burned in cars, stoves, grills, lanterns, furnaces, or fireplaces, according to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Inhaling the gas for a prolonged time can be deadly. Symptoms which can alert people that they are inhaling carbon monoxide include headaches, dizziness, weakness, vomiting, chest pains, upset stomach, and confusion. And, my thing about it is a lot of this stuff that I've been witnessing or seeing within the last year has to do a lot with a lot of these resorts and hotels experiencing a lot of negligence, especially from the management, in which they understand there's something that's wrong that's going on, but they refuse to report it or do the right thing by shutting down their resorts or hotels completely, by working around the clock to make sure that they get rid of the problem. Now, like I said, and I would advise to all Americans watching this video that dare want to travel to Mexico, I would advise them not to go to Mexico. I would advise them to go to other places besides Mexico, because it's too many times since last year there has been all these mysterious deaths that's been happening with Americans, and especially so-called African Americans or Black people, that they have been a scapegoat of a lot of these murders or these deaths coming up at large. Otherwise than that, give me your thoughts in the comment section. Like, share, subscribe. Peace.